everyone, we're at the Deepcool booth at Computex 2023, and the main thing that Deepcool brought is this Morpheus case, which is pretty interesting because they've gone for a pseudo-modularity. So there's a mixture of back panels like this and motherboard panels, plus some of the others that you can see mixed in between. So this is the primary thing that Deepcool is introducing. Release date is TBD. Pricing is looking to be in the $220 to $230 range, but Deepcool is going for a very airflow-centric case design. So the industry's moving in this direction. Deepcool's getting on board, and that's good to see. But the main sort of gimmick here is that because it's pseudo-modular, you can get either a standard ATX layout, which is what's next to me here, and behind me is the completely empty one we have shots of, or you could do a dual compartment layout. And this is more of that sort of saw it get popularity with the O11. This is a totally different layout than the O11 externally, but it's compartmentalizing the hard drive cages and the power supply on the back side of the case, and then the motherboard on the front side. So that's kind of the main angle they're going for here. Before that, this video is brought to you by Thermal Grizzly and the CryoSheet graphene pads. These CryoSheets are molecularly stacked in the Z-axis to encourage vertical direct thermal transfer from the IHS to the cooler. CryoSheet pads are made to be easily applicable for a thermal interface and completely avoid paste dryout because it's not paste. It makes them particularly useful for long service life systems with minimal maintenance. They come in multiple sizes for suitability on the most common laptops and desktop CPUs, and you can learn more at the Thermal Grizzly CryoSheets at the link in the description below. The colorway, I'd really like to see comments about this because two people, so myself and Mike on our team both like this colorway, which is the Deepcool logo color, but it actually does look nice. They said they're only doing it though for a Computex one-off. So leave your comments if you like it or not, but currently they're only planning to do white and black for the colors. For the cages and modular parts here, on the back of the motherboard tray you can see that white piece there is a cable management channel, so that is separable as well. It's got 3 screws going in holding it in, and then you run Velcro straps across the channeled areas. For other components, these are the fan rails. So these can mount to the front or the top of the case. There's a couple locations. You can do 120s, 140s, and actually on this case back here, they've got 2 200s in the bottom. So a lot of options for how to lay out the fans. In terms of what's included for fans, that is in the TBD category. So we don't know yet, but Deepcool was playing around with the idea of including this single piece set of 3 fans. The downside if they did this would be obviously you're kind of stuck with this single piece, non-separable assortment of fans. You can't take them apart. This is not just simply a shroud. They are molded into that shape. So they're not sure if they want to go this direction or not. I'm sure comments below would help Deepcool figure it out, but that was one of the options they were playing with. Otherwise, you just bring your own fans like usual. Another piece of the case that's kind of interesting. So this is a screen that will come with the case. It's not a DLC add-on. So that ships. It's currently mounted in this front corner, and that would go kind of like that in the case. And we've got one of it powered on as well. Shows the GPU and CPU temperature. It actually has a warning where it'll blink when it's at a certain temperature. I think it's 90 degrees or something like that. So it does have a warning. The top is just the Deepcool logo illuminated. But what I'd like to see, and there may be time yet to do this, is if they fully enclose this. The backside right now is just a PCB that's bare, but if they fully enclose it as a module and then maybe stick magnets on it or something, you could relocate it potentially elsewhere on this as long as there's clearance for the panel, and that's just glass to still close. So that's the main aspect of the case. It is full mesh. The filter is pretty interesting as well. It almost looks like a nylon, almost fishing wire type of filter, so very thin wires forming that filter, which is good because it reduces impedance to flow. The side has intake, or I guess if you wanted to do it, exhaust options as well. So you can put fans back here. Maximally it can do 4, or actually 3 rather, radiators of 420 sizing. Technically you could do a 360 on the side, kind of, but you're in complete overkill, pointless territory if you do that. And then one more thing with the case too. So this one just spells Morpheus on the top. This is completely customizable. So just as a fun kind of add-on, they're shipping with these pegs. They're gonna be white or black depending on the case base color. And they exactly socket into the mesh so you could spell whatever you want or make a design or something. Kind of fun, total non-functional obviously, blocks holes, but not in a way that's relevant, and gives you something different to do. for the Assassin. So the Assassin 4 is new. We're going to be testing these in the near future. I think release date's targeting somewhere around July. Price is kind of on the high side for an air cooler, $110, so it's got to be really good at that price. There's some interesting features though. So top panel here comes off, and it reveals a cage that has what is effectively a 140 millimeter fan and more or less a 120 millimeter frame in some areas. You can see where it's cut off, and they seat the fan lower down, which is not a new tactic. It's been done before, but it works well. Seat it lower down so you get to use that 140 to pull air through the heat pipe area underneath without actually extending up into what would be the sidewall of the case. So you keep relative compatibility by syncing the fan, but you benefit in the noise sense by reducing the reliance on higher RPM because it's a larger hole to pull air through. So this one is going to be, I think it's 7 heat pipes, 6 millimeters. Other than that, I mean, you've got the sort of metal wall here. This isn't plastic, so it is metal, but it's not contributing meaningfully to cooling. And most interestingly, this is actually the front of the cooler, and we have a separate fan cage we can show you in B-roll. You could attach another 120 if you wanted to, but it's got a separate plate for it. And then on the opposite side of this, you've got the back of the cooler. So you're going for back fan pulling, so it's a reverse blade. And then in the center, there's that push fan right in the middle. So it's kind of a different approach to cooling we've seen before. We'll see how it does in testing. And then the last thing, so this, it's kind of new. Some of the stuff that's here has been shown at CES before, but it's still coming out. This is an AN600. We didn't spend a lot of time on this. The only reason I wanted to come over to it, though, first of all, low profile cooler, so for SFF or something. More interestingly, though, top down, they've got, and you can see it now, they've got LEDs shown within the hub, which is actually super cool. So you see the electromagnet and the LED is kind of different. It's unique. I like it. It's a good play on the LED approach without going full on crazy like Lian Li with the LCD stuff. So anyway, that's the Deepcool booth. Thanks for watching. As always, subscribe for more. Go to store.gamersnexus.net or patreon.com/gamersnexus to help us out directly. We'll see you all next time.